Carolinas
to your corner of the world.
We're spinning the dials on DX Central Live.
Now here's your host, Lloyd Van Horn.
And welcome to DX Central Live. Back here live on YouTube for another live AMDX session. Be trying out the new antenna tonight. Got a upgrade to our Northeast Southwest KAZ. You know, last night we did a live stream testing out the new North-South KAZ in the southern direction. And with a new 22'x70 foot configuration. Tonight we're testing out our new Northeast Southwest, which is at the Southwest tonight. And it's a 22'x64. Just couldn't get that extra foot. But we still got the new upgraded antenna there, so it's much, much bigger. 10 feet taller. And 16 feet wider. So it should give us some really great results tonight. We're hoping. We're going to take a look at the terrestrial solar conditions and see how those are looking for us. And see if they're going to be favorable for us to do any Latin DX tonight. That's the key. We're trying to get some Latin American DX this evening. All right. All right, so let's go ahead and get right to some live AMDX here. We got a couple of things staged up here. Let's get right to the live AMDX. So the first thing I want to show you here, I've got my solar conditions program here, and this allows me to go in and actually see. You've got the gray line here, which is really cool, but also it updates the solar conditions, so I can see we've got a index of 29 and a K index of 4 tonight. K index is a little lower than it was last night, but still high enough that I would say that 29 is going to maintain for at least a while here. We were at a 19 last night, so we're up 10 A index points here. So let's take a look and see what that's going to do to our DX. So let's go ahead and close. That's a program, by the way, called Simon's World Map. Simon Brown, the man behind Ham Radio Deluxe, SDR Console, and a whole bunch of other programs that are in the DX community. He made this wonderful world map. So if you've ever seen this on my channel, or if you're looking at it and going, wow, I want that, just go to look up Simon's World Map on Google, and you can grab yourself a copy. So let's go ahead. We're going to start off tonight with the Perseus SDR. We've got our 2 KAZs on there, and let's take a look and see what we can hear. I'm sitting right now on a local frequency, but let me move to 1090. Okay, so before we get started, I just want to make sure you guys know we have a live chat going on the live stream tonight. So be sure to join in on the chat and grab your radio and do some DX alongside with us. If you have a frequency you want us to tune into, maybe you want to see if we're hearing the same thing that you are, definitely let us know in the chat, or just tell us what you're hearing. Say hey, whatever it might be. We got the chat wide open, so I'll be keeping an eye on that. And also, speaking of kind of engagement, keep in mind you can also follow us on Twitter. That's twitter.com/DX DX Central. You can keep up with when we're doing these live streams. I always announce it there first. I try to also announce it on our some of the Facebook groups that we're part of, AMDX, FMDX Facebook groups, but I always start on Twitter. So the first place you're going to hear that I'm doing a live stream is going to be on Twitter. So make sure you follow us there, twitter.com/DX Central. All right, so let's get started with the DX. So we're going to test out, let's first listen on the South Wire. This is the 170-degree South Wire. We're using Jaguar Pro software. Okay. Some things that we're going to notate here. We've got a couple of carriers here that are looking pretty decent. This is our Peruvian friends at 1089.976. This is probably at 174. That is our friends at Blue Radio in Colombia. I'm hearing some Latin stations in there, probably another Colombian, so hints of a decent Latin night at least here for us already. I would like to see these two signals a bit stronger, especially on this southern wire, but hey, at least we're getting them in there for right now. Let's go ahead and switch over to the new KAZ. This is the Southwest wire. All right, so what we've got here, I'm going to go ahead and mute that for a second because I don't want to get hit on the copyright. KAAY in Little Rock, Arkansas is our strong station here, and you'll see both the Colombian and the Peruvian just gone, disappeared as soon as we made that switch to the Southwest wire, which is good because that tells us that southern wire is highly directional towards the south. The Southwest wire is also as well very directional towards that southwest side and keeping those signals from getting to us. So Southwest is looking right towards Little Rock. That's right in the beam width of that antenna, so that's good. So far, so good. We have another signal here, actually a little bit stronger than the others here at 1089.9843. I heard that. I'm looking. Anyone got a beat on Radio Victoria? Ah, there it is, Cuba. Story of my life here in Charleston, South Carolina. Hear a Latin thinking, all right, we got something great. And it's another Cuban that we've already heard. All right. We're also going to be keeping an eye. We have this evening our ELAD FDM S3 is also in operation this evening. And we're doing that with our W6 LVP mag loop. There's the camera. With our W6 LVP mag loop. So we're running the FDM S3 tonight as well. So we'll switch back and forth between the two. I'm running the ELAD FDM SW2 software on the ELAD on the S3, and over here on the Perseus rather, we're running the Jaguar software with the KAZs. So those are the two that we're running tonight. Native-ish softwares. The Jaguar is not native to the Perseus, but it's only found with the Perseus. Only works with the Perseus. So if you have a Perseus SDR and you have not yet dove into Jaguar, I'll give you guys a chance to kind of see it in action this evening. And if you think, if you've tried it and maybe you thought it was too difficult to learn, I'll try to give you guys some primers. So feel free, if you have tried to use Jaguar before and you're just kind of not really sure what to make of it, shoot your questions over in the chat. I'll be more than happy to answer those for you and give you a primer on how to use the program. So 1090s, look at Colombia now coming up. And Peru.
delegados y que deberán ser aprobados en sesión plena. En tanto, la Comisión 2 que evalúe...
So here's a little technique that I've learned over the years, especially with these offsets. So we have a Spanish station, male talking. You can hear it here. Let me go back to the audio. So what I'm doing is I'm bouncing back and forth between my offset that is below. I keep looking down here like this is the camera. Here's the camera. The offset below 1090 and also my offset that's above 1090. When I'm below it, I switch to lower sideband. And what I'm listening for is to see, is my audio that I hear when I'm in lower sideband below the 1090 carriers, is the audio pristine, or do I have a little bit of that just off frequency sideband sound? I do the same thing on this one above it. I switch to upper sideband. And as you hear on here, there's a little bit of off frequency sideband sound here to the Spanish speaker. When I'm up here in upper sideband and when I'm down here in lower sideband, that tells me it's neither one of those two stations. If it was either one of those two stations, the audio would be deadbeat right on frequency and it'd be crystal clear. But you'll hear it here; it's a little off. It sounds like there's a little bit of a warble to the voice. That Peruvian signal is looking pretty good tonight. Makes me hopeful that we might actually hear some audio. Now, this station here in the middle is kind of faded out just a bit, the Cuban. And again on the Southwest wire, we've got Little Rock. And you can kind of hear on that Little Rock here, you hear that sound, that warble sound?
3 million people have earned cash back with Get Upside just for buying gas. I always use it. Some months I make $300.
Now when I zero beat the carrier, you see the difference.
There's no catch. It's simple. And you get your cash
Here
back
I am
right
off.
away. Get Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play to save up to 25 cents per gallon.
Here I'm going to zero beat.
Code 2021 for a 25 cent per gallon bonus on your...
So you can tell the difference in that sound if I'm listening to an offset that's right on frequency, it's crystal clear, it sounds like normal audio. If I'm just off frequency, it has a little distortion, a little warble to it, a little bit of a different audio characteristic, which tells me I'm not zero beating on the carrier that I'm hearing. So that's one way with carriers like this where they're on above and below. If I'm trying to say, is that the audio that I'm hearing? You can very easily kind of suss that out. Look at this one now. Peru's coming in really nicely. We should be able to get some audio from this guy here soon. More than likely, that 1 kilohertz tone that we're hearing might be a little bit because I didn't see one below. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything down below that would be kind of pulsing in and out there. So one of the techniques we're going to try here to see who it is that we're hearing, to see if we're hearing any of the blue radio there in Colombia. I'm going to go to an online web SDR. Let's go ahead and show this one over here to you guys. So this is a Kiwi SDR. It's a little, basically self-contained SDR you can put online and people can listen to it online. Located in Bonaire, which is just on the north side of the shore of Venezuela. So this has a really good look into South America and into Colombia and Venezuela especially. So we're going to take a look here and see what we hear on this, compare it to what we hear on our on-air signal and see if we're hearing anything similar here. This would help us narrow down to see if we're possibly hearing that Colombian there.
¿Quiere usted mi amiga? Preguntó Dragón. No, dijo la ardilla. Estoy muy ocupada. Dragón se acercó a la orilla del río y vio a un...
I don't know that we are. I think that's still the Cuban. Go ahead and go back to my Jaguar here. Let's change it up. So if you're watching on the live stream now and you have a frequency you want us to tune into, let us know in the chat. We're more than happy to jump around here a bit and see what all we can hear alongside with you. Or just grab a radio and DX alongside with us to let us know what you're hearing as well. So 1090 is where I usually start with my AM DX when I'm looking for Latin Americans to see if I have a strong Latin American night going on, which right now is moderate. Okay, we'll call it a moderate night. We got some good signals out of Peru here. We got some good stuff coming from Colombia. But let's see what else. Let's start down low. Let's check out 570 and see if we hear the Colombian down there.
And the ratings go up. I'm mad as hell. I'm not going to take it. There's got to be some of that attitude in all of us as Christians.
I hear the Cuban radio low.
That's why this book is so important.
There is another Spanish station in here.
Make sure you inculcate those values in that. If you're serving on boards and organizations, academic,
And this is who we're looking for, this 100 kilowatt station, Radio Nacional de Colombia.